Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I am your friend Ashfaq and in today's video we will see how to build the Jenkins CI/CD declarative pipeline in which it will clone the code from the GitHub repository, it will build the image, it will log into the Docker hub and it will push the image there, and then it will pull the image from the Docker hub and will deploy it. This complete CI/CD pipeline we will configure with integration to the GitHub webhook, in which any commit on the GitHub repository will trigger the pipeline. For today's project, we will use distributed build, in which our master would be on AWS EC2 instance and agent would be on Azure virtual machine. In the master, we will install the Jenkins, and on the agent we will install the Docker. CI/CD pipeline will be built on the Jenkins on the master, and build and deployment will happen on the agent. So let's get started. My master server has been created on the AWS and the agent server has been created on the Azure, and I have taken the SSH access of both the servers from my local system. So first of all, I will do the apt update on both the servers. Now I will install the Java on both the servers. I have to now install the Jenkins on the master. If I go to Google and search the Jenkins installation on Ubuntu, and if I open this URL, so we are trying to install on the Ubuntu. So I will copy this complete content of the weekly release and I will paste it on the master and I will hit enter. I have to now install the Docker and the Docker Compose on the agent server because the build will happen on the agent server. I will go ahead and install the Docker Compose also. I will now provide the access to my current user on the Docker. This command will provide the access to my current user on the Docker. I will have to now reboot this server. I will go ahead and reboot it. Jenkins on the master will be accessed over the port 8080. So I will go to my EC2 instance on the AWS to allow the port 8080. I will go to security group, and I will add the inbound rule for the port 8080. Save. And my application is actually will be actually running on the port 8000, and the deployment will happen on the agent server. So I will go ahead to the agent server and allow the port 8000 also. Add inbound rule. I will first allow the port 8080 on the agent. Then I will allow the port 8000 also. I will access my agent again. I will copy the public IP of the master and I will access it on the browser with port 8080. I will go to this path in the master. I will copy this value and paste it here. Install suggested plugins. I will create the user on the Jenkins. I will set the password for the user. Save and continue. Save and finish. Start using Jenkins. Under the setup a distributed build, I will click on setup an agent. I will give the name dev-agent. Permanent agent create. Remote directory I will provide. If I go to my agent, this is actually my working directory of the vadmin. Launch method I will provide launch agent via SSH. Host I will give here my agent public IP address. Credentials I will use Jenkins credential provider. I will give the username, password, add. Host key verification strategy I will select no verifying verification strategy, and I will click on save. So as of now status is showing as NA. I will do the refresh here, and you can see here it is now showing as in sync, means connectivity between the master and the agent has been completed via SSH credentials. I will go to dashboard, manage Jenkins. I will go to available plugins. I will search here. I will take this plugin and I will click on install without restart. I will take here restart Jenkins when installation is complete. It is now actually restarting the Jenkins. I will log into Jenkins. Sign in. Okay, now I have to provide the credentials of the Docker Hub to the Jenkins so that my pipeline can push the image to the Docker Hub, and it can pull the image from the Docker Hub. So I will go to Docker Hub, and I have logged into my Docker Hub using my credentials. I will go to account setting, security, new access token. I will give the name, generate, copy and close. I will go to Jenkins dashboard, manage Jenkins, manage credentials, system, global credentials, add credentials, username with password. I will give my Docker Hub username. In the password field, I will paste the copied token which we had generated on the Docker Hub. ID, I will provide Docker Hub. So this ID we will use again in the pipeline to pass the credentials to the pipeline and create. I will go to Jenkins dashboard, create job. I will give the name, no to do lab app CI/CD. I will click on pipeline. OK. Build triggers, I will select GitHub hook trigger for GITS CM polling. I will go to my GitHub. So this is my GitHub repository which we are actually going to deploy today. I will go to setting, webhooks, add webhook, and here I will provide my Jenkins URL. GitHub webhook. Send me everything. Add webhook. So it is showing as dot now. I will do the refresh here. It is showing the tick, which means connectivity to my Jenkins has been successful. I will go back to my Jenkins project. Pipeline, I will give pipeline script. I will paste it here, my pipeline script. So in the pipeline script, this is my agent name, dev-agent, and we have 4 stages. First stage is code. So this is actually my repository of the GitHub. And the branch is main. In the second stage, which is build and test, we will build the image and tag it to this. This is my username on the dockerhub, and it will add this tag to the created image. And the third stage is login and push, in which it will actually log into the dockerhub and it will push the image to the dockerhub. So we will use with credentials and dockerhub. This is the label of the credentials for the dockerhub which we created in the Jenkins in the previous step, and using that credentials we will actually create 2 variables. First is password variable, and we will give the name to the variable, and another one is username variable. then we will use those variables to log into the Docker hub. And using this command, it will push the created image to the Docker hub. This is my username on the Docker hub, and this is the tag of the image which it will apply after the creation. And once it is created, using this step, it will push the image to the Docker hub. And the fourth stage is deploy, in which it will deploy the image using the Docker Compose file. If I go to my project and if I open the Docker Compose file, so you can see my app will be running on the port 8000, and using this Docker Compose file, it will pull the image back from the Docker hub and it will deploy on the agent. I will do the save here to save my pipeline. I will go to GitHub. In my project, I have opened the Docker Compose file. So I will go to edit mode, and this is my username on the Docker hub, and I will modify the image name as per the image name which we have given in the pipeline script. No to do lab app CI/CD, and this is the port number on which our application will run. If I do the commit changes, it should trigger the pipeline because we have configured the GitHub webhook. I will do the commit changes and I will go to my Jenkins project. So it has not started the build. I will click on build now. So you can see my all the 4 steps of the pipeline has been executed successfully: code, build and test, login and push image, and deploy. If I go to Docker hub, so and do the refresh here, you can see here my image has been built in my agent server and it has been pushed to my Docker hub and it is available here. I will go to my GitHub project and I will change the readme file. Commit changes. So now you can see it has automatically started the build through the GitHub webhook. GitHub webhook this time initiated the pipeline after we executed the commit on our repository on the GitHub. So all my 4 steps of the pipeline are successful. If I go to my agent server and copy the public IP and open the new tab, and I will try to open the app with the public IP using port 8000. So you can see here my application is working. I will again go back to my GitHub, and this time in my project I will go to views, to do file, edit, and I will change here. And I will do the commit changes. If I go back to Jenkins project, so you can see here it has again initiated the CI/CD pipeline through the GitHub webhook on the commit on the GitHub repository. So all my 4 stages of the pipeline has been executed successfully. If I go to my project, sorry, if I go to my application URL and do the refresh here, so you can see here changes has been applied. Once again I will go to my repository on the GitHub, and I will go to readme file, and I will make some changes here, commit changes. I will go back to my project on the Jenkins. So you can see here again it has automatically triggered the CI/CD pipeline through the GitHub webhook on the commit on the repository on the GitHub. So all the my four stages of the pipeline has been executed successfully, and my application is working successfully here. I will go to configure. I will copy the complete content of the pipeline script. I will go to my GitHub repository. I will go to add file, create new file, and I will paste the complete copied content here. I will give the name to the file Jenkinsfile. I will go back to my project, and under the pipeline definition I will make it pipeline script from SCM. SCM I will select git repository URL. I will go to I will copy the path of my project from the GitHub, and I will paste it here. This is my repository URL. Branch name I will give main, as our branch name on the GitHub is main. Script path Jenkins file, and I will click on save. I will go back to my GitHub repository. Here I have created the Jenkins file and copied the pipeline script here. I will do the commit new file. So once this file has been created, it should initiate my pipeline on the Jenkins. I will click on commit new file. I will go back to my Jenkins project, and you can see here it has automatically triggered the CI/CD pipeline through the GitHub webhook. So all my four stages executed successfully, and I'm able to browse my application. By this way, you can create the Jenkins CI/CD pipeline and configure it to build the image and push that image to the Docker hub, and again pull that image from the Docker hub and deploy it on agent server. And you can configure the automatic trigger to your CI/CD pipeline through the GitHub webhook. Hope you find this video helpful. A lot of effort went behind this video, so do subscribe to my channel to encourage my work. Like the video, share it with the friends and spread the knowledge. I look forward you to join me in the next video. Thank you.